What do you think you're doing, Snake? You don't have enough to keep you busy? Try to remember the mission if you can.
Hi, I'm back. It's me, Gabe again, with another batch of rare and obscure PS2 games. You know the drill by now. Please like and subscribe, watch it until the end, I ask you, but you are not going to do that because you're going to skip in a minute or two, and I'm going to be sad for a while, but that don't matter much because I'm going to have pizza later tonight. So, all good. Enjoy if you are staying. If not, enjoy your day. So you ever came across a game that promises you 400 hours of gameplay? Sounds like a dream come true, right? Well, hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to delve into the murky depths of Dark Angel Vampire Apocalypse. And let me tell you, it's a ride you won't soon forget. Now, when I first heard about Dark Angel, I thought to myself, hey, this could be the next Diablo for the PS2. Boy, was I wrong. Now let's start with the story, shall we? Or lack thereof. You play as Anna, the Dark Angel of Retribution, tasked with protecting villagers from the armies of the Shadow Lord. Sounds epic, right? Well, don't get your hopes up, because the story is about as thin as a sheet of toilet paper. Gameplay-wise, Dark Angel is a simple hack-and-slash RPG that's more repetitive than a broken record. You'll spend hours trudging through the same dungeons, killing the same monsters, and fetching the same items. Rinse and repeat. And let's talk about the graphics and sound. The backgrounds are empty, the character models are bland. And don't even get me started on the repetitive soundtrack. It's like listening to elevator music in hell. And now, don't get me wrong, Dark Angel does have its merits. The weapon variety is decent, and there is something oddly satisfying about grinding for hours on end. But is it worth your hard-earned cash? Well, that depends on how much you enjoy mindless dungeon crawling. Imagine this scenario. You have already explored the depths of gaming hell with titles like Frogger and London Cap Challenge. You have uncovered the worst of the worst, but then, out of the shadows, a developer appears, whispering tales of a game even more abysmal than what we have seen before. What is a masochistic gamer like me to do? Well, when the opportunity knocks, I answer. And that's how I found myself diving headfirst into the abyss known as Demon Summoner. Now let me tell you, Demon Summoner is so obscure that it hasn't even graced the halls of Wikipedia or Metacritic. It's like the black sheep of gaming, lurking in the shadows, waiting for someone brave enough to unleash its horror upon the world. And guess who took up the challenge? Yours truly. Now you might be wondering, why even bother with a game that's so bad it's practically begging to be forgotten? Well, my friends, because ignoring a game like Demon Summoner would be like ignoring a portal to hell. And trust me, that's a mistake you don't want to make. So, armed with nothing but a decrypt PS2 controller and a healthy dose of skepticism, I dove into the world of Demon Summoner. And let me tell you folks, it was a journey unlike any other. You are thrown into the murky 19th century London, tasked with hunting down a vampire named Emily, who's been wreaking havoc in the city. Oh, and did I mention she's been letting Jack the Ripper take the blame? Yeah, it is that kind of a game. But amidst all the chaos and frustration, there is a deeper story to be told here. A tale of small indie studios struggling to make ends meet, forced to churn out subpar games just to stay afloat. It's a reminder that behind every bad game lies a human story, a story of passion, desperation, and sometimes just plain bad luck. So is mocking a game like Demon Summoner unfair? Maybe, but it's also a reminder that for every failure there is the potential for growth and redemption. And who knows, maybe it took a game like this to pave the way for something truly great.
Back out of the building again. The monastery was located on a secluded island a few days ago, so there could not be any hesitation.
Have you ever came across a game that is so bad it's good? Well, strap in because we're about to take a ride with Police Chase Down, and let me tell you, it will be a wide one. Police Chasedown throws you into the shoes of a motorcycle cop tasked with protecting a VIP inside a limousine from relentless attacks by bad guys on bikes and in vans. With 10 missions spread across 3 locations, city, highway and desert, there is no shortage of action-packed chaos to navigate. But now let's talk about the controls, folks, because Police Chasedown doesn't make it easy for you. Steering feels like trying to wrangle a bull on roller skates, and good luck trying to hit anything with those wonky aiming mechanics. One minute you are dead on target, the next your bullets are flying off into the sunset. It's like trying to play darts blindfolded pretty much. Graphically, Police Chasedown leaves much to be desired. It seems to recycle assets from motorbiking, resulting in a visual experience that's about as appealing as a day-old pizza. Sure, there is nothing outright offensive about it, but the animations feel clunky and overall presentation screams budget bin. And let's not forget about the sound design, folks. Generic rock music blares in the background, doing little to enhance the gameplay experience. And don't even get me started on those annoying sound effects. Every beep and bleep is like nails on a chalkboard. With only a single mode to choose from and a lackluster result mode that offers little more than a pat on the back for your efforts, Police Chasedown epitomizes the ethos of empty games. It's a prime example of style over substance, with fiddly controls and a general sense of cheapness pervading every aspect of the game. Ever stumbled upon the game that beckoned you with intrigue yet raised skepticism with every pixel? That was my quandary with Realm of the Dead. Zombies were on my mind, and there it was, promising an undead-infested adventure. Would it be a gem or a dud? The curiosity got me like a zombie feasting on brains. So I took the plunge. What followed was a journey into the realm of questionable decisions and occasional surprises. Let's peel back the layers, shall we? At its core, Realm of the Dead is a beat-em-up, though it shyly masquerades as an action game. You stroll, hit foes, grab loot, face bosses, rinse and repeat. It is straightforward like ordering a coffee. But in a world craving complexity, simplicity is often shunned. There are 2 attack buttons, weak and strong, accompanied by a clumsy array of moves. Special attacks? Sure, but they are like an umbrella in a desert, somewhat useful, mostly futile. Then there is the guarding feature, a feature as useful as a screen door in a submarine. Initially handy, but later utterly pointless. And the upgrade system, you ask? Starts promising, then fizzles out like a damn firecracker. Sure, you can beef up, but why bother when strategy takes a vacation mid-game? We all know the little details are that make or break a game, right? The intro, you ask? Static images on repeat, a visual lullaby that screams no effort. Speaking of effort, the title's origins are shrouded in obscurity. Bakugan? No, don't. I'm not gonna say it. Anyone? Sounds like a mouthful from a cryptic menu. Sound and visuals? Forgettable. The soundtrack fades into oblivion while the graphics? Unremarkable. Even a 2D rendition would have elicited more excitement. And the plot? Is like a half-baked recipe, ingredients scattered, coherence amiss. One minute you are chasing zombies, the next, deciphering cryptic notes in barrels. So what could have been Realm of the Dead? The potential is there, buried beneath layers of mediocrity. Character designs offer a glimmer of hope, enemies grotesque, yet imaginative, but the environments, dull as dishwater, and the multiplayer, non-existent, a missed opportunity to salvage the experience.
And now, a short commercial break.
I can't believe this. Listen to me. We're doing this together. I need you. I need you.
One valiant soul stood in their path. His 3 swords brandished the power to cut demons in half. Facing the demon masses alone, The shrine mediums guided and protected him.
In the realm of lost treasures lies Swords of Destiny, a game that slipped through the cracks of US shores but found solace in port territories. Now the question becomes, is this a buried gem awaiting discovery, or just another faceless addition to the beat-em-up pile? Picture this. A fantastical rendition of China, overrun by demons, in a mashup straight out of Onimusha meets Romance of the Three Kingdoms. The story? As thin as a rice paper, with voice acting that could make your ears weep. But hey, it's enough reason to pull out your blade and start swinging. The combat in Swords of Destiny feels like a familiar tune to those who have danced with Onimusha or Ninja Gaiden. But here is the kicker, sword time mechanics. Imagine this, in the heat of the battle, your lock-on cursor turns red, signaling the perfect moment to unleash hell. And when sword time activates, enemies soar into the stratosphere, ripe for a pounding. But wait, there is more. Enter the dash maneuver, your trusty companion in both combat and platforming. It not only closes distances, but also opens doors to unreachable places. Pair it with well-timed attack during sword time, and you got a juggling act that would make a circus clown blush. Mastering dash cancelling becomes your ticket to maximum carnage, turning bosses into mere toys. Of course, no beat-em-up is complete without an arsenal of special abilities. Charge attacks? Check. Special moves, double check. And let's not forget about the dodge button, your savior in tight spots, or the spells that leave foes vulnerable to your blade's embrace. It's a symphony of slashes and spells, each move adding a new layer to the dance of death. Now let's talk about the camera system, the fickle friend that sometimes gives you a panoramic view and other times leave you squinting in cramped corners. And don't even get me started on the lock-on system, which has a habit of ghosting when you need it the most. But hey, at least they bother to include them, right? But fear not, brave soul. Swords of Destiny has more tricks up its sleeve. Ever dreamed of wielding multiple swords? Well, certain enemies drop their weapons, augmenting your elemental arsenal. It's a shame though you cannot swing them yourself, but hey, at least they add some extra oomph to your attacks. Just remember, everything has a price, including health-stealing weapons that keep you fighting against all odds. As for presentation, Swords of Destiny won't win any beauty contest for sure. The music is forgettable, with tunes better suited for Willy Square than a Battlefield. And while the visuals are serviceable, they lack the flair of more polished titles in the genre. But hey, it's what's under the hood that counts, right?
With Lord Mengwei? By my hand, I'll...
Can you defeat him?
Well, look what we got here. Another gem from the vaults of D3 publisher. Tank Elite? Huh? Let's just say my expectations are lower than the frame rate on an old CRT TV. Strapping folks, because we are about to dive into this mess. As we brace ourselves for another D3 debacle, Tank Elite's control scheme swinging like a drunken sailor on a stormy sea. It's a mess out there, folks. Trying to maneuver your tank feels like wrestling a greased up pig in a mud pit. Like, seriously, who thought these controls were a good idea? It's like trying to parallel park a semi-truck with a broken steering wheel. Tank customizations offers a glimmer of hope in this dark abyss, with a variety of tanks to choose from, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. It's like trying to pick the least rotten apple from a barrel full of mold. Like, yeah, sure, you can choose your tank, slap on some camo, but it's like putting lipstick on a pig. It may look different, but it's still a pig. The missions are where things really start to unravel, from mind-numbing escort missions to hair-pulling battles against anti-tank guns. Tank Elite throws everything but the kitchen sink at you, and trust me, you will wish they would throw the sink. And you know you are in for a bad time when escort missions are the highlights of your game. It's like trying to herd cats through a minefield. All in all, overall, Tank Elite is a disaster in the making. It's a game that's more frustrating than stepping on a Lego in the dark. D3 publisher strikes once again. Oh, the allure of a zombie apocalypse scenario. It's like a guilty pleasure. We know it's been done to death, but there is something irresistibly captivating about it, isn't there? Picture this, you're a medical student in the bustling Sun-like city. A place where life was once vibrant until a mysterious virus turned most of its inhabitants into flesh-craving zombies. And there you are, stuck in the heart of it all, armed with nothing but an abandoned ambulance and a mission. Rescue survivors and fend off the undead hordes before it's too late. But wait, there is the twist. This isn't your run-of-the-mill zombie tale. No. This is Zombie Virus, developed by the enigmatic Wingteton Systems. A name that sounds like a secret code for we make weird games, and trust me, they do. Our story begins in Central Town, the pulsing hub of Sunlight City, where our protagonist, an unnamed medical student, find themselves in the middle of the chaos. Armed with nothing but their wits and a transistor radio, they embark on a rescue mission with their trusty colleague, navigating the city's dead streets in search of survivors. But here is the kicker, it's not just about saving lives, it's about maintaining morale. See, back at the hospital, survivors are hanging on by a thread, and every rescue mission affects their spirits. It's like a twisted game of emotional tug-of-war, with each survivor adding a precious drop to the morale meter. And oh, did I mention the zombies? Yeah, they are everywhere, like an infestation of undead cockroaches. But fear not, because our hero has a nifty trick up their sleeve, crushing zombies with their ambulance. Surprise! It's like a sick version of Whack-A-Mole, only with more blood and less carnival music. Now let's talk game mechanics. There are 5 types of survivors to rescue, each with their own quirks. Cuffs boost morale, soldiers beef up your defenses, and mechanics? Well, they make your ambulance less crappy. Oh, and the politicians? Yeah, they are basically the keys to unlocking new areas of the city, because apparently politicians hold the keys to everything, even during a zombie apocalypse. But wait, there is more. You can also get to customize your ride, upgrading it with fancy new parts and vehicles. Want to mow down zombies like a pro? Slap on a turbo engine and watch them fly. Need better navigation? Upgrade your lights for a more detailed map. It's like Pimp My Ambulance, but with less exhibit and more undead mayhem. And let's not forget about the boss battles, because what is a zombie game without a few oversized monstrosities to squash? From giant worms to undead war heroes, these battles add a much needed dose of adrenaline to the mix, like a shot of espresso in a sea of lukewarm decaf.
On the day of the gods' great descent, the winged folk were summoned to become holy envoys. These envoys carried the gods' will to every corner of the world.
In the shadowy corners of gaming history lurks a forgotten relic, the Sword of Etheria, a game that slipped through the cracks of localization, leaving only whispers in its wake. But what secrets lie buried within this overlooked gem? At first glance, the Sword of Etheria seems like your run-of-the-mill 3D beat-em up, but it's got a wild card up its sleeve, a juggling mechanic straight out of a circus act. Imagine smacking enemies back and forth between 3 characters like you are playing hot potato, only with swords instead of tubers. It's like Star Ocean till the end of time on steroids. Except here, your teammates are about as autonomous as a Roomba. But hold on to your hats, folks, cause we're about to crash headfirst into the combat system, and oh boy, is it a wild ride. It's all about that one button, baby, with a sprinkle of Musu flair in the form of a death blow. You wanna unleash hell? Well, you gotta feel that tension meter first by slapping enemies around like they owe you money. But here is the kicker, that tension is fleeting as a summer fling, disappearing faster than your dignity after a night of karaoke. And let's not forget about the gimmick levels, those little surprises the game throws into your way, like a twisted birthday party from hell. From hungry wall monsters to babysitting objectives, each stage is a masterclass of masochism, turning what could have been a stroll in the park into a full-blown carnival of horrors. But amidst the chaos and carnage, there is a silver lining here. The game is surprisingly robust in narrative, with nods to the Wizard of Oz and a cast of characters straight out of a anime fever dream. It is a roller coaster ride of epic proportions. Just don't expect Shakespeare here, folks. We are talking more like Shakespeare with concussion. Yet, where the Sword of Etheria truly shines is in its auditory symphony. Thanks to the musical wizardry of Michiru Yamane, the game soundtrack is a headbanger's paradise, injecting some much needed adrenaline into the mix. Fighting Angels, or as it's provocatively known in Japan, the cat fight. Yoneko Danshatsu? Picture this. It's 2005 and you are browsing the PlayStation 2 aisle, hoping to stumble upon a hidden gem. Then, out of the corner of your eye, you see it. A game with graphics so cheap they make you question reality, jiggle physics that defy the laws of physics themselves, and a plot thinner than a rice paper screen. Yet somehow it manages to lure you in with promises of an all-female battle tournament where swimsuits are the attire of choice. Why? I wonder. Let's take a look at the lineup, shall we? And here I'm about to attempt to say these names, so bear with me. We got Kaori Hirose, your typical high school cosplayer dreaming of new costumes. Mishizu Niyama, the shy high school girl with a mysterious motive. Mei-Ling Miao, a Chinese eyeglass designer with big dreams. And Lisa Blanchett, the American wildcard in it just for the kicks. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We got the mathematics teacher, a manager of a vague, small place in the city center, and even a robot nurse with a penchant for dramatic. But why they are all fighting in swimsuits? Well, your guess is as good as mine. As for the gameplay, well, it's as barebone as it comes. You want a story? You'll find it buried in the manual. I hope, at least, because it's not in the game. And your reward for enduring the lackluster plot? More swimsuits, because apparently that's what we are all fighting for. Now let's talk about the combat. Ever heard of "and your reward is close"? Well, here it's more like "and your reward is another bikini." And don't even get me started on the battle intros, reduced to scrolling text in the PAL version. It's like they didn't even bother to give us a proper entrance. And the weapons? They are there alright, spiked bats, katanas, machine guns, you name it. But don't expect any blood to be spilled. Nope. These fighters are as pristine as porcelain dolls, even after taking a bullet or two. But hey, at least we got some gratuitous English thrown in for good measure. Like yours truly does. It's like they hired a drunk uncle to translate the dialogue. And let's not forget about the life meter, charmingly referred to as hurt points. Because why use fancy terms when you can just call it like we know what it is? And the cherry on top? The ending, or lack thereof. After you beat the final boss, the supposed big bad, the game just ends. No closure, no grand finale, just credits rolling, and a sense of bewilderment washing over you. And there you have it, folks, another batch of obscure video games on the PS2. I often wonder what should I say during these outros, but since nobody watches until the end, I can do whatever I want. And nobody will, you know, make any remarks, so I could say anything here, really. Anyways, let me know if you make it until the end, down in the comments below. Have a good one. I was Gabe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, keep gaming.